live video, live stream here regarding a topic that I talked a lot about, and also you guys mentioned this uh, in your comments too. And I do know several people who are going through a divorce process. Also, I've seen the last several years, of last couple of years actually, many people that I know, males that I know, have been through a divorce process after so many years and with kids together. So, and I've mentioned this a lot on in my videos and talking about, you know, the divorces and particularly I was talking more about divorces in the dynamic of, if you are in toxic relationships, and I'm not even mentioning, it's over talked about narcissistic people. Yeah, sure, you would probably have a narcissistic um, you know person, like your husband or wife or whatever. So let's see. But I think, of course, if it's not necessarily diagnosed, it's hard to say whether or not the person is, if the person is actually an NPD, meaning a narcissistic personality disorder, or has narcissistic traits. And majority of people these day and age has narcissistic traits. So I don't think really that's so important. I will make videos about that because I think this topic needs to be discussed, okay? Because it's been used so differently. Of course, if you're husband or wife is a narcissistic person, or your ex-wife or ex-partner is a narcissistic person, diagnosed, then that's it. But in general, I always keep saying, if you have a narcissistic partner, uh, you know or a toxic person, then of course the best path forward is to get a divorce, right? And of course, I'm not a I don't know, lawyer or a therapist, but I'm coming here from an angle, as being a scientist, as seeing, observing things around me and talking about this topic a lot, coming from a perspective of a guide towards you and helping you to see things from a different angle, in hope that this will actually help you, okay? So I'm not sure how many people joined, but I'm just going go for it, okay? So let me just put here, because I do have, yeah, there you go, 2 people here, perfect. So hi everybody, whoever has joined. So I want to discuss this from a perspective of a male and from perspective of a female. I think there are 2 separate aspects of how men experience divorce and the whole process, and the women, or a female, in the process. And I, as you know, talked a lot about, and I do on my channel talk a lot about, from a perspective of the man, okay? Because it's so underrated, it's never been talked about, and it makes me so mad, because as you know, I keep talking about that I have so many good-hearted male friends and people around me, close to me, really really good guys, so nice, and they were always like with this toxic, even narcissist. I actually know many who have been together, got married with NPDs, like seriously pathological narcissists. And as if you haven't watched my previous videos, let me just briefly mention that as I kept saying, I do have a lot of these good men and friends, or people close to me, around me for years, like 20, 30 years ago. I was just literally, when they came to me, oh, this is my girlfriend or whatever, I would as you know, I'm a power empath. I would immediately sense that this is not good. That's not going to be good. It's not good. And I was trying to warn them and say, it wouldn't be good. And unfortunately, these people, I mean, you can't, for some reason, can't tell a guy that this girlfriend or this person is not good for you. I mean, they like, will really attack you. And how many good friends and people who close to me literally like separated themselves from me. It was so heartbreaking. And if you know the dynamic of narcissists, how narcissists' mind work, that's the power that they gained at that moment to separate me from my best friends or from my people from close to me. Okay, and that's when things got really bad, because then I have no contact with them. And that's the achievement of the narcissist. And then they get married and they have kids, what have you. And then what happens? And I do have a narcissistic partner video, and it's in different language, but if you want me to, I can do it in an English version too. But I really don't want to dive into narcissism, because I tried to, as you saw, the last 2 years, I'm not talking about this topic because it makes me sick, like really sick. Like I really wanted to focus on a person himself. This is not about narcissists. This is about the person actually who is has a good heart and is getting divorced. That's the whole topic. I don't even care about that narcissistic craps. Okay, so. And then when they got, after years later, 10 years later, they get divorced, and then they have a kid, I don't know, kids maybe 10 years old, 5 years old, whatever. And then they get divorced. And then because they see in the meantime what happens in the 10 years, they got so more, if they are together with a narcissist, with an MPD, they get more and more and more isolated from everybody around them, and only together with the people that the narcissist determines that this and this and this, you can have only contact with this people and not with everybody else, just with these people that the narcissist actually, or the toxic person, toxic partner determines. And then after you got divorced, and I honestly was in shock, really. I mean, when I really saw that, and I knew, and for me at that moment, it's not really, of course it's sad, but it's also not necessarily bad. And that's what I want to talk about and want to discuss and want to focus on, because actually the divorce is not bad. If you do have, and I've seen so many people around me, that these people that I warned for 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they got divorced recently, and I don't know what happened, what kind of thing, what was. I think they just suddenly saw the true faces of this toxic person. And if you are a male, I think, and again, just overall, this is not bad, okay? Because listen, for us, as I keep saying it, we do only have one lifetime, okay? One lifetime, that's it. Why would we want to spend our time, our life with people, number one, who are not meant to be with us, and only had and that's what another point is, that sometimes people only are together with us for a certain period. We are trying to hold on to things, or to people, but sometimes they are just here in our lives just for a certain period. And we need to understand this as a human being and as a humanity, as a total. Because, when I look into people's chart, also in my chart, it is important to understand, first of all, who you are, where you're going. Are you experiencing and living your own life's purpose? Are you going in the direction where you meant to go? If I look in people's chart and I see that this person is such a spiritual person, the north node is in such a spiritual area, and then I see what they're doing in their lives is totally like the south node. We all do that. We all do that. And that's why I'm here to say, hoping to guiding you towards your north node, where you need to go in life to be happy, to be satisfied. And when these people are coming to our lives, if and listen, you can hate me for this, but I have to say this to you. If at one point in life the people you were so close to or you associate yourself with, if you don't feel happy with them anymore, or you don't feel satisfied anymore, it's not about being like seeking everybody around. It's not that. Inside, deep inside, something is not clicking anymore. Honestly, I feel that it's because you are evolving, and that's good. That's good news. Listen, I was thinking a lot about this lately, about, sometimes when and I experienced this last several years, that, when you have childhood friends, for example, and you're just together for so long, 20 years, 30 years, and then out of sudden there's like no connection, no nothing, out of the blue, and you try to so bad to get connected again and to get in touch again, and these people are not even contacting you anymore or not even interested anymore. And then you realize, okay, you know what, if you don't care, I don't care either, right? And this happened to me especially after I came to the United States. For whatever reason, I don't understand. I don't know, maybe are people jealous or whatever, I don't know, but I don't get it. So what I'm saying is, now I'm thinking back, then you think, if sometimes when you haven't seen your friends, your closest friends, for 20 years or whatever, and then suddenly you get connected again, and then you look and you see like, oh my god, you don't either, you don't like it's not the same person that you remembered, or it's not the person that you feel so connected with anymore. So you're like, oh crap, either this person never changed, or you changed so bad that this behaviors that you remember and now what you're seeing is totally different. This is all okay, because this means that you are evolving. And sometimes people around us are not evolving, and this can happen in relationships. So then, if you are together with somebody and the person, at one point in life you came together, either you wanted to or you had to. I'm not even talking about if somebody got pregnant and you had to get married. I mean, I'm not even talking about that. And that's, for me, I mean, this is right there, like the ticket for divorce. Like, seriously, I'm sorry, but from all my observations and also psychologically, this is like, if somebody gets married because somebody got pregnant, you weren't careful, and then you're like, from the heat of the moment, and then not thinking about the consequences. And I talk a lot this on my channel, on my videos, previous videos. I mean, I don't know, that's for me like, uh then don't get sad. You know, if you don't have any self control over your life, and thinking of the below the belt, and why there are so many narcissistic people out there, more and more exponentially growing, because they don't have a happy family. That's what it is. And that's exactly where I jump in and say, if you at the point where you are, and when you see that you do not have a happy family, then you actually, it's good to get a divorce. Because what, and I see this all the time, hear this all the time, but we have kids, but oh, what about the kids? The kids are not happy anyway. If you are constantly in an unhappy family and you're fighting together all the time, what does it do to your children? It is better than you get divorced. When people come and say to me, oh, you know, my children, but you do even worse for your children if to be together. I keep saying this in my videos. What does a child or children want? They want the mom and the dad to be happy. Period. Full stop. If the mom and dad, and even if you are deciding, let's do not fight next to them, don't you feel, don't you understand? They get the energy. Children are innocent. They are close to angels. They are naive inside. They can sense things, very much so. And it's so underrated. I can't believe how people don't get this. Babies, even inside their mother's belly, can sense the surrounding environment. How come people believe that they don't sense things? They, of course, they're like animals. They sense everything. Babies, kids, they sense everything. So even if you don't fight next to them, they sense the tense energy, and they get sick and more sick and more sick and more sick, mentally sick and physically sick. You don't want to do this to your children. It is better than you get divorced, be happy, and be happy separately. Then the child or the children will see the mother and the father happy on their own, but still happy. That's what matters. That's why I don't see the point of the child needs the father and the mother. Of course. But they don't need miserable and aggressive and toxic father and mother and toxic family environment, although you think that you just provide everything. Children don't need this or that or this, or they don't need plays or what. They need happy family. They need happy mother and father. It's no point, seriously, if you are in this relationship, partnership, or marriage, whatever, and keep diving deeper into. I am not a fan of divorce at all, but I am a fan. I'm not a fan, but I support if people are not happy to really get the hell out. That for me, it hurts the children even more, and hurts you and your partner also. And so that's why there is seriously no point in just keep delaying. And so here's also the thing, right? Also, let's talk about the law, right? The system. I do have a gentleman. We would go. Several times I saw him. Uh, I had a good friend. We would do water skiing. So I got saw him from there. He was like an older gentleman, and he was literally fighting for years for the system, for the to break the system, because I don't know that after they got divorced, I think they have two children, whatever, adult children or teenagers, I'm not sure. And so that the law gives the children to the mother, and has, I don't know, I don't remember if he doesn't have access to the children anymore, or has less access, whatever, children. That sucks. And he was fighting for the system, to break the system, and he was writing and writing articles. I mean, it was so sad, like how he really, like, here he was just so sad all the time, and because he didn't have much access to his children like the mother, and that sucks. And sometimes I know in many countries, like it pretty much all countries, where the children is given to the mother, sometimes even if the mother is like a toxic person. And and so it really doesn't help. And sometimes, let's talk about this. Sometimes when actually when the people who are in these toxic relationships, right? And sometimes they also can use that children excuse, if you will, to stay in the comfort zone. I've seen that also a lot. But the children, not wanting to get out because everything is so comfortable, especially if you're a fixed sign, right? You don't like the shifting, moving things around. You like to be stable. That's why you delay. You don't even remember. Years go by and you're like, okay, tomorrow I will do it, tomorrow or next time, or in a year or 2 years. Let's this happen, and let's that happens, and then let's get me this job, and let me get retired, and then. But you realize, boom, it's 15 years, 10 years. What did it do in the meantime? You got sick, your children got sick, mentally, physically, emotionally. Why? Because you had not, I don't want to say you didn't have the guts to get out of your comfort zone, but either you were scared, or let's talk about society. The male, the guy, has much more, and as I keep saying it, I'm really supporting the guys sometimes over the women, because guys have so much pressure from society. That's horrible. It is so horrible, unfair, because I mean, we put, honestly, so much pressure on guys, and nobody talks about this. Yes, women power. Yes, women got suppressed. Men got also suppressed. I'm telling you, there are so many amazing guys, good-hearted guys, getting into the toxic relationships, and what happens? They got screwed. And nobody talks about this stuff. So guys have a lot of pressure from society, and they also have to think a lot about things like, the father figure, being a father figure, or being the supporter of the family, and what society thinks of them. And guys experience this kind of stuff differently than women. They've also, and it affects them emotionally too, kind of like, I couldn't provide, I couldn't, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't good man enough to put my family together, or something like that. I know they have this type of mentality, but the people who actually really able to get divorced, and I saw, like, all these people I mentioned, the good guys, good-hearted guys, recently got divorced. their children are 10 years old or whatever, 9 years old, 10 years old. And even I know people who had, mentally challenging children and also got divorced. So having mentally challenged children, like ADHD, for example, or other mental illnesses, is also not is something that you have to worry about. You can get divorced if it's really bad. Because at one point you have to think about yourself and your own health too, as I keep saying it. And you need to get over of the societal pressure, and it's nothing to do, if you're a guy listening, it's really not on you that you didn't put the family together, you failed, you have a failed man, you are a failed man, you are a failed father figure, you are a failed father. Absolutely not. You are actually a good father to really take care of yourself and the family by removing all the toxicity in life. And so I'm not sure if this is really, if something is something that you can really resonate with. And for the female, let's talk about the female then, right? And for the female, it's also a little bit different, because for the women, or for the female figure, it's also a little bit different, because the say for example, if their husband or their partner is a toxic person, of course they need to get. And for the women, it's also similar like the man, that I'm the failed mother, I couldn't care for the family, and that type of psychology, because also there's pressure for women, right, in the society. First of all, screw the society, okay? We are not even, don't even go there. Screw society. Let's talk about us. Us is important here. And for women, when it's also so oftentimes when they are financially not in a situation where they actually can, what, screw you, I'm gonna go. It is more that the women oftentimes is suppressed in the scenario. And so that can be also difficult. But again, both female or male, they have this psychology of, am I failed family? I failed, couldn't get these things together. But at one point, you just have to understand that we only have one single life to live. And we do not good for your mental health, physical health, and for our children's mental and physical health too. Even if they are mentally challenged children. And I've seen that too. It can happen. You can get divorced even if your children is mentally challenged or has disability or something. It is really, really okay. So you have to look deeper inside of you. Really, like, who you are, where you're going, what's your dream, what's your goal. And if you can at one point coming together and, I'm not talking, if your person is not a not toxic person, but you just have disagreements and what have you, that's a totally different scenario. That if you really feel your partner, your husband or wife has manipulated you, it doesn't have to be really like on your face toxic, but manipulative, right? Kind of screw you with your money and easy kind. I've seen that a lot. Women do. I've seen so many manipulative women do this for good guys, manipulating in the background everybody and the money and whatever. I've seen that a lot. So, and guys oftentimes don't, they are later realizing that kind of thing. And of course, so let's talk about back to the guys then, because guys also have to think a lot about other stuff beside than this huge psychological pressure, like societal pressure. It's also finances, right? If the guy is the provider all the time, if the guy is the provider all the time, then it is hard. It is so hard. And I totally get that. I literally talked with a friend of mine, a good friend from back in college, literally on Sunday about this. I asked him, who also got divorced and has a teenager child, and I literally asked him about, listen, I'm thinking of, it would be hard for the male, right? Especially if the male is the provider and has worked his entire life, his butt off. And that will be also very challenging for divorce too. He said, yeah, hell yeah. Of course, hell yeah. And imagine that the guy has to think about other aspects too. Like as to I'm supposed to, support my children. Or now imagine like if you were a fixed sign, right? And you work your entire life, your butt off, right? Your butt off to get your career and get into a position, and you got good money, and you really sacrificed your life, your childhood, your youth to get to the position to be the best person and in that field, and to get where you are in your career, and you get now money and support, found, then you got married, or maybe you had to get married because of the pregnancy, whatever, and then you got now boom, 10 years later you have children, and you need to get divorced, and then you're like now you get the half of the money back to the person. And if the person is a manipulative, toxic person, and never contributed really to the family, because they suck the money, like I see a lot of toxic women like this, suck the money out of the man. I mean, and then you give the half of your entire life's savings or whatever. And I've seen that literally with guys going through that, suffering currently just because their finances now have to be divided and given to a toxic person. That's why I keep saying it. I would never encourage anyone to get into marriage if they're not 100% sure about the person. That's why so many divorces and so many mentally sick generations are happening. Because people are getting into marriages, either they're like so passionate and have this intense passionate night, and then boom, got pregnant, and then they had to get married, and of course it was just a one-time thing, and they're like, oh crap, now you have to get married because of the children, of the child. And again, what then? Now you screwed your entire savings or retirement. So, and that's not even the topic now. The topic now here, what if after this happened? And what I'm here saying that it's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's for screw the society, think about you and yourself first. Oxygen mask first, even if you have children. Okay? Oxygen mask first. Then calm, and then I mentioned on Sunday when I talked with a friend of mine, the steps that I said, I think this is the steps. First, especially for the guys too, but also for the female as well. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. For me, I think, and even like it's like with diseases too, right? Like for example with cancer, and I'm in the field of cancer, but in general, it's like I think it's the same thing with divorce. It's first that the denial. At first you don't see it. Then there is you see it, but you deny it. Denial step. Step 3 is let me fix it. Let me try to fix it. That's not going to happen. Let me try to fix it. And then step 4, oh crap, I can't fix it. I have to get divorced. And then step 5, what's the plan? And now let's the money and etc. and everything, the house, the money, the things, that, the this, the this. That's, I think, what the steps are. And that friend actually, male, confirmed it. That's exactly what it is. Because the denial step can take years. Because he also mentioned that it took him years, right? To get there to divorce. The divorce process, he said, I think he said something, it took 2 years or whatever, but to get there took him like 5 years or 10, I don't know, 5 years maybe, I'm not sure, something like that. So the denial process can be really long, and together with the trying to fix it, then you're like, oh God, it's going to be 5 years. 3 years there, 2 years there, together 5 years. And then the process of getting divorced, and if the person is a toxic person and really cares about sucking the money out of you, that can delay it. So we only like literally have 7 years or whatever just for this toxic process. And so, and so the sooner, I'm saying that the sooner you realize, then to say, okay, it's happening. Actually, I'm not happy. That's what I keep saying. Always look inside of you to also shorten the period. Even if you try to fix it, shorten that too, right? Denial, shorten it from 3 years to 1 year to really, and that only helps if you look deep inside of you and understand who you are, where you're going, because it is actually shows that you are evolving. It doesn't fit anymore. It fit maybe then. Maybe you were in love with the person. But then something started to get like this. Either you didn't realize the person's true colors, or you just like, yeah, but it doesn't click anymore. It doesn't do it anymore. We just became like friends type of things, like no passion, no nothing. It's just also the mindset doesn't fit anymore. I want to go dream, achieve my goal, dream goal, and that person is still like the kind of stuck in some mentality. It doesn't fit. Sometimes it doesn't have to be so toxic. Sometimes you just can outlive your partner, and that shows that you grow, and that's also okay. We all would want that, right? I mean, not we all, I mean, if you get divorced, that you would want that it would be easy and smooth and you just outlive, instead of having all the toxicity. But if there's toxicity, then that's the reality too. And that's what I'm saying. Either way, the sooner you realize to look deep inside you, and that's all what I'm here for, is you, to help you grow, to help you to be able to see inside of you. And if you can do that, you will be able to recognize, I'm not happy here. Then this denial phase can be shortened, and also the fixing stage too. If you decide, okay, let's fix it, whatever, let's bring more passion, whatever, or the mindsets are different. Can we even find can we look into the same worldview direction or not? Let's try to figure this out. Or what do you want, what I want? If it doesn't fit, that it's just that more logical, and then it doesn't have to be so complicated. And then you can shorten that too, and then the process can be more logical, I believe, in that fourth phase or fifth phase. And then you can get the divorce stage shorter, and then instead of 7-8 years, you can have 3 years of the whole process. And then, I mean, we are the time, you can get everything in life back, but not the wasted time, ever. Please understand that. You can get your money back that you lost. You can get, but once you have, you can get your love of your life or whatever. But the thing is, you cannot get the lost time and your lost health back. Hopefully you get your health back, but if it's accumulated, I'm telling you right here, being in the medical field and doing a lot with mental health too, if it accumulates, and I'm a geneticist and I do know what it does to the environment, to the genes, to the immune system. You don't want to have that. You don't want to have accumulations, and what it does to your heart. I mean, right? What the stress does to your heart. We talked about this yesterday in the live. So think about that. The more you can realize you do not have any time to waste for yourself, for anyone involved, and for your children too. That way you can protect your health. You can be a good, healthy, and happy father or mother to your children, and you can move on with your life in the direction where you're actually supposed to go. And I would not recommend to see everything so dramatic, right? But more logical. If you come from logic a little bit, then it's all cool. It doesn't have to be like so dramatic. And I'm not talking about toxicity, right? I mean, you have to get the hell out of there as soon as possible. No doubt about it. Male or female, doesn't matter. I don't care. You have to get out. But if you just like, you're not agreeing, not happy, like if it's just like you outlive yourselves, just see it logically, see it cool, right? And I mean, it can be done easier. It doesn't have to be so dramatic, but it is, of course, not something to be wished to anybody. But if you are in, I mean, it can be avoided to begin with, thinking long term. But if you are in that stage, then the important part is to see if you can make this process easier and shorter and healthier for everyone involved, and particularly for yourself first. For yourself first. That's the most important thing, okay? Oxygen mask for yourself first, okay? So I leave it here. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking, and thank you so much for all of your nice, wonderful comments. I love you guys. It's so sweet and so wonderful that you share with me your life, and I can't believe that that you write to me, and what I predicted in, mentioned in the readings and the Sunday lives with the divorces and stuff. I can't believe that this was also accurate. And wow, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, it just comes to me, and I can't believe I predicted it accurately. So, if you are going through divorce or separation of any sort, and um, let me know in the comments what you think. And of course, it's a tough process, but I encourage you to think about your happiness and health first, your life path first. Put your oxygen mask on first, and then think about how you can healthily just move things forward, and the steps that I talked about, shorten them too, and think logically, not so, and forget about society crap anyway, but think of you. And um, if you put also more logic into it, that I believe can, and I've seen that. That's why I'm saying I've seen that it can happen. If you think it more from the logical perspective, it can calm down the pressure. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments, and I love to hear your comments, what you're thinking, and if you have if you went through the process, well, how was it for you, and how do you feel now? Okay, I'm curious. Let me know in the comments, and I wish you everything best, and take care of yourself. Okay, bye bye.